Welcome back to another episode of the Hotel Fit Show. I'm Leo Amarim, and I'm here to help you improve your physical and mental health around your crazy hospitality schedule. All right, and we're in. Welcome everyone to another Wednesday masterclass here in the hospitality fitness community for hospitality leaders. I hope everyone had a nice Christmas, and I hope you enjoy your holidays and these festive days. Today I'm here with a very special guest to talk about how to be successful in your New Year's resolution, because I know that a lot of you guys are looking forward to improve physically and psychologically now in January. Although a lot of people fail, and most times they fail only a couple of weeks after they start. And that's why we're here today, to help you out and make sure you don't fail this time. Rob, thank you so much for coming around. I know that you've been quite busy for the past several months, taking care of everything F&B related at your hotel. I know that your time is limited, so I really appreciate your time coming here. Rob, to start out, just for the audience that doesn't know you yet, what are your credentials in the hospitality industry?
Credentials, well, I'm Rob. I have been in the hospitality industry working wise about 10 years now. I've done everything from reception to housekeeping, and then I moved on to conference and banqueting. I'm now a senior outlets manager, other title known as food and beverage manager, for a hotel in Ascot. So I still run everybody's weddings and events, but also support looking after bar and restaurant. So yeah, I've been doing that for the last year or so, but been where I am now for 2.5 years now. But yeah.
Awesome. And before, you have like a track record of many years in hospitality, doing a lot of different things in different departments, a lot of training. You recently told me that now you're going to do some lectures in a local university.
Yeah, so I'm going to be talking in a college about what it's like to work in hospitality, which will be interesting, talking about the challenges and things like that. So I think it's one of those things you have to have a passion for the industry to work in it, and I do. So
yeah, for sure. Rob, basically the reason why I invite you to come here today, because last year when you started out like doing your health and fitness New Year's resolution project, you've been tremendously successful. You managed to reach your goals. You managed to be really consistent, even though you're busy. And you were pretty much like an exception, because as I said, a lot of people fail now in January to reach their goals where they start out for a lot of reasons. And I thought it would be interesting for the community to have like your experience and your own story and advice for them to also apply those tips and tricks. And I want to start by asking you, last year, when you started, before you decided that you were working on those new goals on the new year, what motivated you to start this project? What made you decide, okay, this is the year, I'm gonna go for it, I'm gonna win this time?
So I think for me, it started with actually the beginning of lockdown. A lot of people like, I can't go anywhere, I can't go to the gym, I can't do anything. And they all just stayed at home and ate and then put on a whole load of weight. But I used lockdown as a thing of more like, I'm going to sort myself out. And so I actually started controlling my calories and what I was consuming and looking a bit more at my macros, but I didn't really understand macros at the start. And I actually lost 2 stone myself quite quickly, but then I would manage to then maintain it. So I was then at that point of, right, 2020 is going to be my year and I'm going to sort my body out and make myself feel more confident with how I look. And so that's when I decided, right, yeah, now's the time, really. I've managed to lose the weight. I feel like I can maintain that now, but now I want to get that fitness up and start working out a bit more.
Cool. And before you had this experience, before you made that decision, had you previously tried something on the previous years? Have you previously tried New Year's resolution?
Oh, all the time. All the time. No, I've never had a good track record with trying to keep up New Year's resolutions. I think that I've managed to do things like when you have to do 40 days and 40 nights from Ash Wednesday to Easter. I'm good at doing something like that. And a lot of people say, maybe you should, instead of leaving something out, so saying, I'm going to stop this, you start something. So like one year I actually decided, right, I'm going to start going to these dance classes. And I started doing dance every single week. And I did that for the 40 days and 40 nights, and I was going every single week. And then I ended up continuing it, and I was doing it for over 2 years. So it's one of those things that it's not always about giving up something. It can be something about starting new, and that can be something really exciting as well, I think. But yeah, I've not had a great track record in the past with keeping on top and keeping myself motivated with it. I think with regards to lockdown as well, what helped at the beginning, I think it was May, June time during lockdown when it started, that I happened to be around people that were trying to do the same sort of thing and sort their health and fitness out. So I was actually being supported, which I think that's where it's really important to get that support. I don't think I would have been able to start it by myself. And I think when you make changes with your lifestyle, it is important to have that support as well.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Because there'll be many times where you want to give up, and I think having that kind of support can make a difference between your success and failure. And before you started like this New Year's resolution, having a track record of trying and basically stopping many times and trying different things, were you afraid of doing the same this time, like trying and then giving up, or just stopping and doing something?
Definitely. When I made the decision that I wanted to get fit, and I started with you at the beginning of January, I was like, right, I think I can do it. I'm going to get on it. But I actually had lots of people saying to me, Rob, you'll last a month, then you'll give up. And they were all telling me that. And it did put doubts in my mind, because even my partner, he was telling me, yeah, you might do it for a bit, and then you'll probably stop doing it, because I know we used to go to the gym sometimes, and you did the same thing there where you stopped going. But it's one of those things that I committed myself to it, and I was like, no, I can do this. And I was able to get myself into more of a routine. And I mean, at the beginning of the year, we weren't allowed to go to the gyms, so I was at home a lot more, and I bought more equipment and things like that. And so I was like, well, why would I invest in equipment if I'm not going to use it? So it helped me get into a bit more of a routine and change my lifestyle, really.
Mm-hmm. And what would you say that was your factor, your major factor for success? Was that like you invested on equipment, and some people were kind of saying that you wouldn't be able to continue this, that you would give up? Were that the major factors for your success? Was there anything else?
It's one of those things that I wanted to like prove some people wrong that I could do it. But then also with the equipment, I was like, I've got it, I can do it. I was able to plan a little bit better. It was easier, yes, to plan around during lockdown, which can be a little bit harder when you're back in work. But I had a focus, and I was like, this is what I want to achieve. Also, I wanted to commit myself to do something new. And I took it as a personal challenge, and I was determined. I think I was going to say something else, and it completely went over my head. So it went whoosh like that. So
okay, so yeah. It was like a combination of factors that made you more successful this time, and was also like that this time you were more determined than last time for various reasons. One of them to prove.
Yeah, that's it. I started seeing changes quite quickly because I had already lost the weight. What I was trying to do now was actually increase the fitness and build muscle. And I started noticing changes quite quickly. And because I saw that, I was like, yeah, no, this is working. And I know sometimes it's like bad to see, so only focus on what you look like, but in that, to start with, I was like, actually I can see changes, I'm getting better. It wasn't like I was losing more and more weight, I was maintaining, and that, but I was happy with where I was to maintain, and I managed to maintain the whole year, which is great. So it's not like I've put on loads of weight, I've literally maintained and stayed the same. So it's one of those things that, yes, it was difficult at the beginning, but then I just got into that sort of a routine. And I mean, at some point during the year, I felt myself that I was maybe looking a tiny bit skinnier, but that's because I wasn't working out as much anymore. But so then I've started bulking out a little bit more now, but for good.
Yeah, definitely. So looking back at like other previous times that you've tried on fitness and this time that you were successful, and looking at everyone else that tries, and particularly I want to ask you in hospitality, why do people fail, like on this, particularly hospitality workers? What do you think?
I mean, to be fair, I previously I would always say that the main reason for why people in hospitality aren't always successful, say at a New Year's resolution, is mainly because of the whole not having time, having to plan around your shifts, and your shift patterns go up and down, and then you're like, oh, actually I'm really tired now, I can't go. And you can make a lot more excuses when you work in hospitality, I think. But then again, saying that, I know that personally a lot of people that I work with have actually started going to the gym a bit more, and they go, right, I've finished work, I'm going to the gym. And I can see people are trying to change that. Oh, you work in hospitality, so you wouldn't be able to stick to anything. I think that there's more and more people within hospitality that are starting to learn how to build a routine around their shift patterns.
And I'm sure you prove a lot of people wrong all the time, right? When you hear people at work saying, no, I can't do this, I don't have any time for that. They usually like share your experience. Hey, I used to be like that.
It's one of those things that I go, yeah, Larry used to talk to me about that. But yeah, so yeah, it's passing wisdom from one person to another. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So what, like if people ask you, like hospitality workers, when they ask you, what will be your advice if I'm pondering a New Year's resolution? What can I do to be successful like you, Rob? What's your advice?
Well, my main advice is having support from someone that can support you along your journey, because I don't think it's fun trying to do anything by yourself, and committing yourself to it. As you introduced me to the 340 plan as well, with creating once a week, just creating, right, this is just the basic, right, I'm going to sleep then, I'm going to work then, in that time bit I can go to the gym, and just making those plans and trying to stick to them. And yes, it might not always be possible, but having it laid out on a piece of paper can mentally help you think, right, I need to do this at this time, and then I'll do this. And more recently, I've been doing it a lot more with work and things, and allocating deadlines to my tasks and things like that, which is helping me organize myself at work. But then it's also something that helps me organize myself outside of work, because I can start setting myself deadlines of, right, I need to do this then, and I want to achieve that. And so I think it's setting goals and focusing on them to go, yes, I'm going to achieve that. And most people will go with, oh yeah, I'm setting a goal because I'm going on holiday next summer and I want to look really good in a bikini or something like that. So they'll go, yeah, I'm going to do that. But then it could even just be a goal of, yeah, I just want to feel like I'm eating healthier and things like that. So it doesn't always have to be an end goal to that. It can just be a personal goal of where you want to go. But I think you have to think about exactly what objective you want for yourself, and make it achievable. Don't go, no, I want to be a bodybuilder in 6 months' time with big muscles. That's not always going to be achievable. So think of smart goals that you can achieve. And then, yes, you can progress from those goals to then create bigger ones. But yeah, so think small before you go to the big picture, I think.
Definitely, spot on. Yeah, pretty much just setting up a big goal and then splitting that into smaller milestones and keep working on that same goal. And at the same time, managing your time around those goals that you have. One of the things that I used to say is, if you don't schedule it, you will skip it. And this is true when it comes to workouts. Now, it doesn't mean, as you said, Rob, it doesn't mean like if you schedule it that you'll necessarily never skip it. Sometimes life happens. But reality is, like, if the workouts are in your calendar, you are way less likely to skip them. And for those who are watching this and they are new to the community, they don't know what is the 340 yet. Basically, the 340 is just sitting down for like 5 or 15 minutes on every Sunday and just blocking 3 slots of 40 minutes during the week for 3 separate days for you to do your workouts. Usually 2 of them, you book them for your days off, and then for the third one, you book it for a day where you are less likely to be as busy at your hotel or restaurant. And that's basically the 340 is something very, very simple, but that's, it's a very powerful little trick that you can use as well. Robert, anything else that you would like to add, like in terms of advice, looking at what's going on in hospitality and looking at what's going on people health and fitness? What can they expect this year? What else could they potentially do in 2022 to improve in fitness and to improve in hospitality, let's say?
Well, with regards to fitness, my personal thing is, if something's going well, don't stop it, because I was working along with you January, February, March, and then yes, I managed to maintain myself, but I felt like I wasn't progressing anymore. It's one of those things that sometimes mentally you can think, oh yeah, I can do it myself now. And yes, I managed to maintain, but I wasn't going better than I could have. So that's when I came back to you again, obviously. But it's one of those things that you can't always think, oh yeah, they say 90 days to make a lifestyle or change or habit or something like that. But I think that you actually need to dedicate yourself a bit longer. When you get to a point of thinking, I can do it now, don't always think you can do it now. Still go that little bit further and see where you can get to by continuing that journey. With regards to hospitality, I think it's going to be a great year and another busy one. For example, at my hotel, we've already got nearly 50 weddings booked for the new financial year. 20 of them are exclusive uses, which is more exclusive uses than we've ever done before. And people are still wanting to get married. So that's great. And people are still wanting to go away. And we've still got the thing that not everyone wanting to go abroad. So it's great. Everyone wants to stay in the UK. So it's nice. And there are many hotel companies that are still investing within their properties and making them better and better and better for the guest experience. And my company is doing the same thing. And I just think it's great when you can see that even though there might be a pandemic or something like that, there are places within hospitality, yes, the some hospitality isn't going as great, but with regards to many hotels that thought properly and planned, they're still being able to invest and make things better. You do get some that have closed, but sometimes it's because they haven't had their heads screwed on properly and they've made financial mistakes in the past that maybe now has affected them. But there are many out there that are doing better and better than they ever thought they would be at this time. So yeah, I think it's going to be ending on a great year. So yeah.
Nice. And in terms of staffing, is the prospects optimistic as well?
Staffing was hard, and it has been very hard, but staffing is getting a lot better as well. And I think that although at the beginning, hospitality lost a lot of people during furlough, people started doing different jobs and things and started realizing, oh, I actually really like this. But to me, that just means that hospitality wasn't right for them. And I sometimes have casual workers and they say to me, oh, Rob, I really want to be an engineer. I really want to be a teacher. And I'm like, that's fine. And I want to train them and give them that passion for hospitality. But if they end up finding the job that's ideal for them, I'm not going to stop them and say, no, how dare you leave me? Because at the end of the day, it's their career and what they want to do. And if their focus and their passion is on that, I don't mind being a stopgap. A lot of my staff that I have employed most recently, they're all 16-year-olds. I've given them their first job, and I'm happy to know that I'm out there giving people their first job and allowing them to learn and trying to give them the passion for hospitality. Because sometimes you'll have people that come in and they've already worked somewhere else and they really don't want to be there. But it's nice to have someone fresh and new that hasn't worked yet. And so you're giving them new skills and everything. And so I always love getting younger people in because I think this is the time to create new people for hospitality. And in fact, one of my casuals who's been working with me nearly since I started 2.5 years ago, he's now gone to university and he's studying hospitality. So it's one of those things that I constantly love to develop people, and yeah, so come to Royal Berkshire and get a job.
There you go.
I'll take you on, don't worry.
Yeah, I think definitely, Rob, if every hospitality leader was like you, I think there would be way more stuff around and more people who would enjoy hospitality. Rob, thank you so much for passing by. For everyone here in the hospitality fitness community, this is the last live stream of the year. So we will see you again in 2022. I want to thank you all for being part of this community. We are over 200 hospitality leaders in this group. So I appreciate you all for being part of this. So happy New Year, keep being awesome. And I'll see you all on the flip side. Robert, I'll see you soon. We'll talk soon about your goals for next week and we'll talk, okay? Thank you so much for listening. And if you found this content valuable, you can find additional help for free by joining the Hospitality Fitness community on Facebook at thehotelfit.com or facebook.com/hospitality fitness community. There's a ton of cool stuff happening, as well as a massive amount of free resources and information. So join us at the Hospitality Fitness community.